definitely wanted to see that.
I don't know if anybody would be willing to take that risk. So
right.
Let's go ahead and jump into the final match here. They're ready to go. They're loading into the game lobby.
It's gonna be a doozy.
Potwasher.
Gonna be a doozy.
We've come a long way. It's been an incredibly long tournament.
It's been a long day. Both of these players have battled through the whole tournament. 256 entries we had, and these are the final 2 out of 256 players. We're going to see Potwasher's Shadowcraft going up against Mango's Dragoncraft.
Interesting opening hands.
Dragon Emissary is a card you sometimes see with the Ramp Dragon deck. Being able to reduce the cost of a follower is obviously great, but is that what you want as opposed to another Dragon Oracle? Another opportunity to ramp?
He certainly got the Dragon Oracle in hand, and I believe that's going to be the 2-turn play here. Almost certainly. There it is. Going to push him up to 3 play points.
But Potwasher was able to have a great 1-play and a 2-play, getting followers on the board.
To top it all off, there's Cerberus at the end of this, but I can imagine a situation where Potwasher is going to run out of gas real quick. If that ever happens, I think that he's in a really troubling spot. Mango got to play the Grimner really early, and I think that that's a great choice there. Any kind of ward, any kind of ability to stop the damage from coming in, and a second Cerberus as well. Turn 6 is going to be a really big turn, I feel like, for Potwasher.
Absolutely.
He's committing everything to the board, and Potwasher's going to get to turn 6 pretty quick, but I think Mango, by way of pump, he's going to make it to Breath of the Salamander first.
And that's going to mean the end of all of Potwasher's aggression with these followers that only have 2 defense.
He's committed all the cards.
He's committed all the cards. Obviously, the Dragon Warrior, very threatening card to deal with. Trading an Evolved Cerberus, though, into the... That's very cost-efficient. Cerberus will still be alive with 4-1, but I think he's choosing to go for face.
Yeah, I don't blame him. He knows that he's on a timer. And really, that might have been the risk of saying, oh god, Breath of the Salamander is entirely a possibility. I just have to try to hope that it's not... He's not going to play it.
And the last 3 cards that Mango has drawn have been Bahamut.
Yeah, that...
But he's still able to gain board control with a really great...
It's getting really close to
play
lethal. It's getting really close to lethal. You play Cerberus, you have 2 instances of direct damage now.
All he needs is 1 mummy in his hand, 1 evolved mummy. And that could be it. That's going to end his turn, bring it over to turn 7 with Sibyl, a great draw there. Being able to use Dragon Emissary at the same time as well.
The board clear is incredibly important right now. There's Sybil. Gonna give a little bit of healing, and that's a breath of fresh air
Absolutely.
for Mango.
He's going to clear the board and give him a chance to attack for face for 4 damage. Not to mention an extra play orb, so he'll have a chance to play Bahamut next turn if that's what he elects to do.
Yes. Which is actually going to be a very... There are a lot of important decisions that needs to... A 3rd Cerberus!
Mango has drawn 3 Bahamuts, and Potwasher has drawn 3 Cerberus. Oh, man.
He's going to evolve. Interesting. Gonna go for the trade. So no evolution orbs available
For either player now.
There's so much Coco and Mimi in the hand. I can't believe.
So many Cocos and Mimis.
Look how sad Coco is. I never noticed that.
It's kind of sad.
Mimi is just angry.
It's the eyebrows, really.
There it is, the Breath of the Salamander. And I can really feel like... A Storm card? Nope. This is tough. We'll be able to take down the evolved... there it is. Angel of the Wind.
Good play there.
Wow, is he going to spend all this direct damage here?
Really didn't want to keep Sibyl on the field for the extra 3 health it'll gain next turn.
All must come to an end.
And then, oh, there's another Sybil. Or Bahamut. Either one, either or. What a tragic way for Potwasher to go out. Oh my god. He's got 5.
Still, I don't think
9.
he has enough.
Yep. Oh my god. It was just the healing from Sybil. Just by the care on the chinny chin chin.
Sybil of the Waterworm, able to really come and clutch that game with Cure Mango drawing 3 Bahamuts and 3 Cerberuses in the hand of Shadowcraft.
I think it was
really interesting draws all around.
When you go that hard into aggro, there is the tendency to play all the cards in your hand to try to fill out the board. But in that case, it was just there was so much good, efficient evolve options on the side of Mango that was able to bring that match into bring that game into
It could come back to
control.
deck composition, having too many 2-cost followers. And when your hand is full of 2-cost followers and it comes to turn 4 and turn 5, there's pressure to want to use all your play points. And when you empty your hand, you're really susceptible to a breath of the Salamander, for instance.
Time for me to prove myself.
All right, so Cure Mango is up 1.
Father, come on.
And we're coming down to the wire here. I like that Potwasher swapped up the decks. Oh, man. 2 servers, 2 fairy circles. There's so many repeat draws. It's a pretty good opening hand for Forest. Fairy Circle is going to allow you to fill out the board. Unfortunately, there's no Ancient Elf. Would have been a very good opener for Potwasher there.
Agreed, absolutely.
God Nature's Guidance.
Get some fairy, get some more fairies in your hand. An Ancient Elf would absolutely be a breath of fresh air right now.
Let's play.
But there's not much aggression in the hand of Cure Mango. He's going to have to play the board clear game if he really wants to get ahead, I think.
Lurching Corpse gets dropped. Skull Beast will trade. And Shadowcraft has some really good cheap followers to use against Forestcraft just because of the nature of their 1-2 drops. This makes it, in general, uncomfortable for Forestcraft in the early stages.
Do you want an Elf Child, May? Take the 50-50 chance?
If you did Elf Child, you would probably swing with the Fairy on the 1-2 and then Elf Child to see what happens. But still, just a very awkward situation, I feel like.
Let's play.
Go for face.
He's got the Mummy in his hand. That's, of course...
The thing about the situation is Shadowcraft is definitely more adept, I feel like, at going face here. And if you don't have the options to board control, like what is the future that Potwasher is looking for here? Fina evolve, hope the Goblin Mage brings something. He's really just waiting on draws.
Right, yeah. Both players are trying to get their hands to exactly the right point where they want them to be.
Whereas if you look on the hand for Cure Mango, you got the Necro Assassin with a Lurching Corpse that can do really well. You also have Cerberus that can make these 2-2, 1-2s, 1-1s more value than they are normally. I think there's a very clear game plan for Cure Mango, whereas Potwasher just drawing the Silver Bolt, definitely not relevant at this point in time. There are more pressing matters. I think Potwasher is being put into a very awkward spot here. Oh my gosh.
And Cure Mango as well, a Necro Assassin Lurching Corpse combo into an Elf Child May and a Fairy is not the best use when it can destroy Bahamut if that were on the side of the field.
And this is why it hurts Forestcraft so much, because in typical Forestcraft lists, you know, there's not necessarily a big body that you're getting rid of. You're just trying to save face damage and make it awkward for the Forestcraft player to play Roach.
Right.
Stay away, play around White Wolf, that kind of thing.
Let's play. You're mean.
Evolve is available now. Shadow Reaper. That could get really dangerous here.
I think Soul Conversion could be a great card in this instance. using it on Lurching Corpse, being able to draw 2 cards, which I think could make the difference into how this game's going to go. Those two cards that he draws.
Necro Assassin is going to be the choice. Didn't opt to play the Shadow Reaper. Ooh, got to do a lot of board clear here. Now just 1 fairy remaining, and you see this awkward situation where Forestcraft is left with 3 cards in hand. Really not where you want to be. Fina Evolve, maybe. There's the Ancient Elf.
There's the Ancient Elf.
Would have really loved to have that earlier, even though I suppose a Necro Assassin was going to be primed to remove it.
Still, a 5-cost Fina Evolve, one of the best first turn evolves that you could hope for.
Draws a Lily.
So quiet. Time to go a little wild.
Getting Coco and Mimi in hand. It's gonna come real in handy. Come really in handy when you have the Shadow Reaper on the field coming up in a few turns.
So Cerberus is out here.
I think he's deciding whether or not to evolve and trade into a Fina.
I mean, yeah. You lose a Cerberus, you do 1 damage to the Fina. You save yourself from 5 damage to the face, though.
I haven't let loose lately.
It's a call that Cure Mango is willing to make.
Hey, it's okay.
Probably smart. I think health to the face is so important in this situation, especially if you don't really have ward.
I'm a force protector.
Gonna bounce and try to pull more cards from the Goblin Mage.
Sparkly stuff. Gimme.
Another Elf Child.
Almost positive that
And this is really bad because Potwasher drew 2 Silver Bolts. That's the mega don't want.
yeah, very much so. I'm almost positive that Death's Breath is going to come out next turn.
Gonna use the Evolve preemptively on Ancient Elf. Gonna anticipate some kind of maybe counter-evolve play here. But I feel like with Coco and Mimi in hand, it's highly likely that the Evolve will do enough damage as it stands.
The zombie plus Mimi will do enough damage for sure, but he's gonna just leave the zombies on the field as is.
Crystalia Tia.
He could Nature's Guidance the Goblin Mage and get another.
I think this is a play. You Elf Child, see which one it hits. Tia, and then Snowman one of them, and then you can trade appropriately. But is that worth it? Because your Ancient Elf is about to be removed.
Right, you've got to get the wards off the field though, and I think that's his only option. He doesn't have another Evol point for Fina. He's gonna have to get those wards off the field if he wants to open up for some face damage later on in the game.
Things are looking really uncomfortable right now for Potwasher. Cure Mango, I think, brought a very solid list here with a lot of great options. Gonna play the Fina and leave one of the wards on the table and saving the Crystalia Lily, which I think is very smart. Got 2 more. He can buff up that zombie to have 6 damage. 8 with Evolve. Oh, he's gonna remove the ward.
Using both of them on the elf.
Life's fate is that.
I'll show
2
you.
orbs spent to destroy a 5/4 ancient elf. Not a bad trade.
Running away is come on.
Cerberus with a big play here. Elf Child. Oh, man. If you Lily, then you Elf Child. You can wipe the board, but is that worth it? There is 15 shadows for that Elf Queen to eat up. 15 shadows.
That's a lot. That's a lot of shadows. Yeah, I think Potwasher is deliberating whether or not to turn Cerberus or the zombie into the snowman. I think what you were saying...
Probably going to be the zombie to the snowman. That way you can double Elf Child and make sure that you're done with everything. But the question is still, how are you going to go on the aggressive front and you're starting just to lose cards? Even your Silver Bolt is going to be doing a wet noodle's worth of damage.
Absolutely. With so few cards in the hand, a 9-cost Silverbolt is real hard to justify playing.
Oh, and another Death Spirit.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
A Shadow Reaper would be really well. He's going to have to clear the wards, which means Shadow Reaper is going to get stronger.
And the big thing here is evolution orbs. The real only surprise, and it's not even really a surprise, but the big danger here is the double Coco's in hand. That means the Shadow Reaper can do a ton of burst, but the Elf Queen will be able to kind of pick himself up after that, and shadows are still going to be increased here. There's basically no way that Potwasher is not going to get a full heal. So unless there can be kind of, I would imagine 30+ damage in 2 turns here from Cure Mango, it's going to be tough. Especially with the Elf Queen coming in as a 6/6 and is going to be able to remove something. Silverbolt to draw. He's got 2 Sylvan Justices. Still not looking great.
Real inconvenient for those zombies that have 3 defense, unfortunately. That brings one of them to 2, so Sylvan Justice will get some use next turn.
You gonna mess with me?
Destiny calls.
He's got 5 damage here. Add to 9 damage. Oh my gosh. 10?
Yep, 10 damage. 11 now. If he wanted to, well, he's only got one more Coco.
And I think the next turn kind of has to be the Elf Queen here. Some combination of the Elf Queen and Sylvan Justice. Ancient Elf.
I lost.
Oh no, and
That's
Potwasher
Potwasher
taps
tapping out.
And of course, there's so much damage on the table.
That was a
Not
real
being able
formidable
to-
board that
yeah,
Cure Mango was
Not
able.
being able to clear the Shadow Reaper, I think,